Well, it wasn't pretty, that is for sure. They eventually saw off Albania Miles Lewis-Skelly. I think one of the few successes on the night, to be honest. And Harry Kane got the goals. It was Tuchel's criticism of two players after that win that caught the eye, Rashford and Foden. He said, we hope for more impact in these positions, more dribbling and more aggressive runs towards the box in general. That was missing. They were not as decisive as they can be. Has he not watched them this season? Was that not what he would expect?
Yeah, you know what? Listen, Aston Villa man, Rashford playing for Aston Villa, I think he's done very good, but I was quite surprised at him starting the game. I felt like when you got Eze and Gordon, that probably been in better form. I would have started them in front of him. Listen, he tried his hardest. Rashford, he was pressing as well, but he didn't have his best game in England's shirt. On the other side, I felt Foden cutting back inside. You need your wingers to be able to go both ways. Do you know what I mean? I want to see more from Bowen. I want to see Bowen start tonight.
Yep.
He likes to play on that right-hand side. He will go down the line. So not inspiring performances from Rashford and Foden, but I'm sure the manager will be speaking to them and wanting more because they've got a lot more to give them what they showed.
Well, Tuchel said yesterday he's now made it clear to them both just where he wants to see improvements.
I've spoken to both of them also in front of the group. They know that I appreciate the effort, I think especially off the ball. Marcus had a lot of runs when we had the ball where we did not see him, where we did not use him. And from time to time we oversaw him. Phil is just maybe, not finding the momentum at the moment that he can have. But both of them are very positive, have every right to be positive, and know exactly what we want from them.
Would you be surprised if they both, or even either of them, start tonight?
Could do. I just think the options that he's got Bowen, he's got Rodgers that he want to see more of, he's got Gibbs-White he wants to see more of, Eze, I'd love to see on the left-hand side. But you know what I love so far, Jeff, about the manager, is that he will speak his mind. Do you know what I mean? Previous managers, club and country, will say, no, they've done well. He's honest. Listen, when you get the ball, I want you to take them on. There was an instant in the first 5-6 minutes, I think it was Foden got it and turned back and he threw his arms up the manager because he's probably sick of maybe what we are, Jeff. When you watch the Premier League sometimes and you've got a winger one-on-one with his full-back and he gets it and passes it back, and before you know it, he goes back to the keeper. Every time I played on that left-hand side for half my career, I got the ball, Jeff, and I was like, if I could turn 1v1, I'm knocking it past you, I'm driving, making things happen. That's what this manager wants to see. He doesn't want to see this tiki-taka and messing around. Get it into your forward players. Look where Nottingham Forest play. Alanga, Hudson-Odoi, they get the ball, they're taking you on, get the ball, taking you on, relentless. That's what he wants to see. So if you're not going to do that, then I can imagine you're not going to be playing for him.
That's one of the reasons I would love to see Hudson-Odoi in the England squad.
I was surprised, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was too. And I get that he speaks his mind, but I wonder, you want to get your players on side. This is your first game in charge. Don't you want to be telling the players that rather than the public that?
No, I agree with that, definitely. But if you're these players now, Jeff, they're going to be like, okay, at least I know next game. If I'm Foden, I know next game. Less passing, take the player on. Rashford, you get it, drive. If you don't, he's got so many players to choose out of, Jeff. Even if he upsets Rashford and Foden. Do you know what I mean? We've got Rodgers, we've got Gordon, Eze, Grealish could be back into it. On the right-hand side, Saka will be back. Ranieri in the 21s. Palmer to come back in. So he can upset a couple of players if he likes at the moment.
Yeah. But look, if this Thomas Tuchel Brave New World is to be realised early doors, they need to bury Latvia tonight, because Latvia are one of the worst teams in world football.
I thought Albania had done well defensively, though.
Yeah, they do. They make it difficult.
They literally parked the bus, and I think was it Spain in the Euros and someone else only scored one, only one goal past them. So they made it very difficult, frustrating for England. Loads of bodies in behind. They worked their socks off as well, but like he says, we should be scoring more than we did.
Well, Latvia have managed to lose to the likes of Armenia and Lithuania recently, you know. So a few years ago, they even managed to lose to Gibraltar. Now, that is a major achievement, there's no doubt.
Yes.
In October, Miles Lewis-Skelly was starting for Arsenal's under-21s against MK Dons in the EFL Trophy. What an England debut it was for him, wasn't it? His Arsenal teammate Declan Rice thinks he's a shoo-in for the left-back spot moving forwards.
When he first broke into the team, I knew his talent straight away. He trained with us a lot last year at Arsenal, but obviously didn't really play. But I see his talent straight away. And then this year, the way he stepped up and matured over the summer, and then the way he's trained with us every day since, it's been incredible. The way he looks after himself, the way he prepares for matches. He's such a good kid, like such a good kid, and he's been brought up really well. His mum's unbelievable for him. She's such a nice lady as well. So it's no surprise that he's doing really well because he's got the right support network around him. He's got people at the club that are pushing him. He's not too comfortable. He knows he needs to keep going. The other night when he knew he was starting, he didn't even know he was starting. No one knew the team until the day, but he just took it in his stride and he played how he'd done for Arsenal all season.
Yeah, that was the key, wasn't it?
Yes.
He played like he did for his club, just didn't look out of place. I think duck to water is the phrase that comes to mind.
What I love about watching him is that even when defensively, he's great going forward, but defensively, whenever someone gives the ball away, he was right there, win the ball back. His defensive responsibilities are spot on. Great for his goal as well, making that run high up, which sometimes defenders aren't used to making. Clever running behind for his goal. I really like him. Would it be interesting to see Lewis Hall, who's someone else that will be fighting with Lewis-Skelly, but at the moment, I'll say, even at 18, he is England's number one left back.
Well, it's interesting because we've had issues at full-back, haven't we, in recent seasons. But if you think when Lewis Hall is fit again and Livramento as well is another option, and he can play either side, really, and has done for Newcastle as well. And he was just fantastic in that Carabao Cup final. Was absolutely brilliant.
I love him. There's one thing he can improve on maybe, and the manager will try and get him to, is maybe that last ball, Livramento. But defensively, how quick he is, how sharp he is, how aggressive. He's not scared, is he, 1v1? So I'm sure he'll be around the squad for years to come.
I mean, it isn't. I'm going to be really interested with the starting lineup this evening because you mentioned some of them: Morgan Rogers, champing at the bit, Jared Bowen, Eberechi Eze, and Dominic Solanke. I didn't understand why he didn't get a minute. When we're 2-0 up and Harry Kane scored his goal, surely you bring Solanke
on. Yes, but because we need to see what Solanke can do in England shirt. We know what Watkins can do. Watkins out injured. Then Solanke and Kane, and who else is there, Jeff? Yeah. Also, I think talking to my mate the other day about it, like 15 years ago, the strikers we had available. Do you know what I mean? You had Defoe that couldn't get game time. He was a 20-goal a season, every season player, Jeff. So I think Solanke should start tonight, I would, and see what he can do in England shirt.
Thanks to Jill for her belated birthday greetings, and also thanks to Scott, who pointed out, shout out for Scunthorpe against Chester, table topper over the weekend. Look, this was the National League North, 6th tier of English football, a record National League North crowd. 8,274, 6th level of English football. And by the way, I think there are about 1,300 Chester fans who made the trip. It was a brilliant weekend for non-league football. It wasn't just there. There were big crowds here, there.
I seen Bradford. League 2, wasn't it? Over 20,000?
23,000, yeah. Wow. I mean, they get absolutely fantastic crowds.
Got that big stand, haven't they, Bradford?
Yeah, they have. But you looked at the National League, Oldham got 7,200. Torquay, National League South, 5,200. Well, at the Macclesfield, promoted back to the National League North under Robbie Savage and watched by 4,700 people.
Do you reckon any of them attendances have got to do with no Premier League on? Or not?
Yeah, well, it was non-league day, so it was promoted as, if you've got a Premier League club, there's no Premier League action, off you go and watch your local team. But Scunny against Chester in the National League North, that's top against second.
Exactly.
Big rivalry. It's a massive game to try and get back into the National League. So I think they'd have got those sort of numbers anyway. And Oldham have got 7-2. They're really well supported club. I mean, they were a Premier League club.
Exactly.
It's worth remembering.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.